Big up Too Lazy to Try. Joe Rogan snaps at comedians for being ungrateful of the Austin comedy scene. Really? Joe Rogan snaps at comedians for being ungrateful of the Austin comedy scene. Joe Rogan snaps at comedians for being ungrateful of the Austin comedy scene. Courtesy to Try. Let's go.
It's like denying that Austin is an amazing scene is just stupid.
Yes.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, it's like
and also, don't you want another great scene? There's so many bitches in this world. There's so many bitches. And those bitches never get anything done. They just sit and bitch.
Tim Dillon's one of those bitches though. Tim Dillon is one of those bitches and he's very successful. Tim Dillon is one of those bitches and he's doing pretty well for himself. So I'm sure that's true, Mr. Rogan.
And this and that and that and this and that and this. Yeah. And nothing ever gets done.
Yeah.
They never progress. Like my friend said, it's a walled garden. That's what it is. It seems like the people are having too much fun. And if you're not there and if you don't have aspirations to be there, you feel bad about it.
All right, so it looks like Joe Rogan is still struggling with criticism of the Austin comedy scene. He's been complaining about this for a while now, and it's funny because he always acts like he's above it. You know, he doesn't read comments and doesn't care what the haters think, but it's obviously getting to him. So that's why he has to tell himself all his critics are just jealous losers. You know, because obviously the only reason someone would make fun of Joe Rogan in the Austin comedy scene is because they're just bitter. They don't get to hang out with Tony Hinchcliffe in the green room of the mothership, which Tony is actually responsible for the most recent round of hate Austin is getting, because Louis J. Gomez claimed New York has the best comics in the world. So Tony reached out to him to argue that Austin is better and listed off all the comics there. And two of the top comedians he named were Roseanne Barr and Bert Kreischer, who I don't think even lives in Austin. So the fact that one of the top comedians in Austin is a guy who takes his shirt off for a living that doesn't even live there says enough. But Tony is delusional and he really believes Austin is better. Same thing as Shane Gillis's producer. He got really drunk one night and started going off on New York and defending Austin on Twitter. So the both of them and Louis J.
So Mary Lee said, I'll take it a step further. New York clubs book some of the worst comics I've ever seen in my fucking life. All you gotta be is a girl with 100k followers and you can own that city. Oh, that sounds like hate.
Gomez kind of started a New York versus Austin comedy beef. I mean, Lewis has been talking about this quite a bit now, and other New York comedians have chimed in too, like Mark Norman and Dan Soder. They're basically like, no disrespect to Austin, but the New York comedy scene is better, no question about it. So for Tony to even try to argue this was pretty stupid. And he started this drama right when it seemed like things were starting to settle down a little bit for the Rogan sphere. You know, because last year they're getting a lot of shit, and it became popular for comedians to make fun of them. And you could tell it was really getting to Rogan. But he was able to put some people in check, and the criticism from other comedians died down quite a bit. But I guess there's still some tension there, and now Tony and Lewis started a LA versus Austin feud, which Rogan is definitely annoyed about, because also when Lewis talked about this debate with Tony during a Regs episode a few months ago, he even took a shot at Rogan's club, which was a bold move.
The average comic, the guys you don't even know about, like blow the guys in Austin away. Like absolutely, all the guys who are doing the mothership, that small room, every one of them that moved from New York couldn't even get on stage at the Stand. Couldn't even get on stage at the New York Comedy Club. These guys were failing in fucking. Big
up Koila. AZ is La Marie. It's La Mer. La Marie. Didn't it say La Marie on the screenshot? Or are you guys gaslighting me? Didn't it say that? On the screenshot, didn't it say La Marie? Hold on, let me scroll back here. Let me scroll back here. Bear me a second here. Let me scroll back. Where is it? Where's a screenshot of him tweeting something? That's him, right? The fat guy, right? The black fat guy.
That's pretty. So the both of them.
That doesn't say Le Mer Lee. Look, man, you're not gonna have your name spelled Lemaire, and I say Le Mer Lee, and then it's wrong. Some of the spelling of American names is fucking insane, bro. Look what it says. Look what it says. Am I bugging? Lemare. That sounds. That's Le Mer, not Le Marie. Okay, cool. I take it. It's La Mer. Appreciate Lee Marie Lee. What I say? I said Lee Mary Lee. La Mary Lee. Okay. Fair. Douglas LeMary. Douglas LeMary. Big up Douglas LeMary. Oh, by the way, he won his suit, innit? Big up Douglas Barry or Douglas Murray. He actually won his legal case against that guy the other day.
and Louis J. Gomez
Be like Coiler, appreciate you.
kind of started a New York versus to argue that it'll be and now Tony is also out at Rogan,
Blow the guys,
which was a bold move.
the average comic, the guys you don't even know about, like blow the guys in Austin away. Like absolutely, all the guys who are doing the mothership, that small room. Every one of them that moved from New York couldn't even get on stage at the Stand. Couldn't even get on stage at the New York Comedy Club. These guys were failing in fucking New York. That's a fact. It's an absolute fact.
Trying to start a war.
No, it's no war. They know what the fuck's up. They left New York because they couldn't cut it here. Let's get real.
So I'd imagine Rogan saw this because he mentions Louis trashing Austin, and he tries to be like, it's just a stupid debate. Why can't we all get along? But you could tell this definitely got to him, and he brings up one of the points.
You know this premise of like, why can't we get this? Why can't we just get along? I do agree. I think the whole beef between these guys is dumb because they're all shit. Personally, I don't think there's much separating them. I think they're all pretty terrible. I think the problem that Rogan has is that when he started the Comedy Mothership, wasn't one of the main selling points, oh, all the big people are here. Remember, that was one of Rogan's big selling points was all the big comics, all the killers are here. If all the killers are here, that must mean we're the funniest place. Like, I think what one of Rogan's things, what it felt like anyway, was that he was trying to like crush LA. Like, okay, I want to be the new LA, you know? Like the Comedy Store is dead. We're gonna start this new. You can't be why don't we just all hold hands? Why can't we just be friends? Why can't we just get along? Do the whole kumbaya thing. When you kind of started your club on the premise of like, this is where all the hot comedians are going to be at. This is the place to be. You know, you kind of started it.
That Tony made about why Austin's better, and he kind of makes it sound like Louis conceded.
Because of that, I'm very pro Austin. Of course, like, man, if you buy in, look what can happen. Like,
Yeah,
there's
you shouldn't.
stuff you can
no
do.
one should not be pro Austin. It's funny because Louis and Tony were going back and forth and arguing. Like Louis shits on the Austin scene.
Right.
This New York versus Austin thing is the stupidest fucking thing of all time.
It's-
like they should both be awesome. Who cares?
Yeah.
But you were doing it when you were in LA too, brother. You were doing it when you were in LA. Yo, big up Ashley Cummings in the stream chat. Well, go on. Big up Ashley Cummings in the stream chat. By the way, I will be on Ashley Cummings' stream. What is it? Next Wednesday? Next Wednesday, 5 p.m. my time. So make sure you tune into her channel. Big up Ashley Cummings Yoga in the stream chat. I will be on there on the live stream having a little chin wag next Wednesday. This Wednesday coming at 5 p.m. UK time. I don't know what it is your time over there. Don't fucking ask me. But on the Wednesday, 5 p.m. my time, I should be on there. So make sure you tune in. But weren't they doing this when they were in the Comedy Store? Wasn't there like an LA? Wasn't there like a West Coast v East Coast? Wasn't there like a LA v New York thing when they were at the Comedy Store? Come on, brother. Don't act like this is new. This isn't new. This isn't a new phenomenon. You kind of played into this too.
It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary, like infight. It's like catty girl fighting. It's like we both clearly can exist in a space where we can also help each other.
Right.
The New York guys are always here, and I feel like we're always there.
But the point is, what Tony and Louis were going back and forth, and Louis said, "Well, L.A. isn't even in consideration anymore as what's the best place for comedy in the country," and Tony goes, "Agreed." And why do you think that is? What do you think happened? Where'd those people go? And Louis is like, oh, shit.
So it'll be interesting to see how Louis responds to this, because he's been pretty passionate about this topic, but it's clearly bothering Rogan. And after everything that happened last year, he's really defensive of Austin. So it would take some balls for Louis to double down here. Because also right after this, Rogan starts talking about how ridiculous it is to act like Austin isn't a great comedy scene. And then he goes off about how comedians are too ungrateful and complain too much. So Rogan is just fed up with people trashing Austin, and I'm sure Louis is kind of nervous hearing this. Also, after Rogan rants about this,
all of Rogan's friends are those people. Yes, comedians are ungrateful and they complain a lot, but some of Rogan's greatest friends, part of their entire brand is complaining and not being ungrateful. That's part of their entire brand. Like,
this is so funny. His guest brings up comedy commentary videos, like this one, and he says he watches them, which Rogan tries to laugh off, but you tell he's dying inside. He's like, really? Why would you watch those?
Denying that Austin is an amazing scene is just stupid.
Yes.
It's just stupid.
Well, yeah, it's like
and also, don't you want another great scene? Do you want a limited amount of options for comedians? Don't you want more comics and more comedy?
Right, and more places for you to end up performing.
Shut up.
Like now you can go to Austin and spend a couple weeks there and get a lot of time and learn how to talk to people here.
There's so many bitches in this world. There's so many bitches. And those bitches never get anything done. They just sit and bitch. And this and that and that and this and that and this.
Yeah.
And nothing ever gets done.
Yeah.
They never progress.
But they say they do the exact same things they're talking about on fucking podcast. They do in the green rooms. I don't think any of the conversations that we're here. I don't think any of the conversations in the green room are any different to what we hear on the pods. They might be a little bit more, they might be a little bit more vulgar. They might be a little bit more specific about who they're talking about. But I think the same type of conversations they have on pods, the same way they all get jealous of each other, they all kind of talk behind each other's backs, they backstab each other, throw each other under the bus. I think they do exactly the same things in the fucking green room. Exactly the same things in the green room. So all this fucking complaining about it is a bit rich coming from Rogan, sorry. When he himself owns a green room, he owns a club. He knows what's going on in those places.
Yeah, man, just video essays. I watch all the video essays.
That's so funny. Why would you watch those?
It's just so funny to me because the whole concept that Austin has ruined comedy is very funny to me because there's so many comics that are blowing up outside everywhere all the time.
It's just silly.
It's
just like my friend said, it's a walled garden.
So I'm sure Rogan absolutely hates that a lot of his comedian friends watch these videos.
That's the trash.
Love him. Too lazy to try. My favorite.
God,
thing
that
in the
guy's videos.
world.
How does he get him up so quick?
The other one, I can't think of the other
Page
one.
frequency. Oh my God, what
Elephant.
an artist! I watch them all. People act like they don't watch them, but comics watch them all.
Well, Too Lazy to Try is my
Well, duh. Of course you watch them. They're the only ones covering you, bro. Even bless Joe Quad, by the way. Bless Joe Quad, but I think Joe Quad's not really working that hard, man. Well, going for Joe Quad, he's kind of took his foot off the gas. Joe Quad's a bit lazy these days. There's not a lot of channels that talk well about comedy. So you have to watch Too Lazy to Try and Podcast Cringe and these, man. American Redact. You got no other choice. Joe Quad isn't really on it as much as he used to be. I'm not sure what's happening with Joe Quad. Maybe it's true. Maybe Joe Quad is working for what's it called? He's working for what's it called? Your Mum's House or something. Because I don't feel like he uploads as often. Look, 1 day, 9 days, 11 days, 13. He's not really been uploading at all that often, innit? Like in the last month, he's done how many videos? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that it? 7 videos in a month. So there's not a lot of channels to really talk about comedy. So unfortunately, if you're a comedian, the only channels that you get that talk about you are the ones that kind of like, that kind of rag on you a little bit. That's the only problem, innit? There's not a lot of channels that talk glowingly about comedy. So you kind of have to watch all of the detractor, the video essays, as he says. Yo, big up Robert Henry Poet. I see you in the stream chat. Big up Robert Henry Poet. I see you. Big up Game of Football Stars at the boys of T-Fat K. Yep. And the comedy enforcement back in the day. Yep, exactly. Game Bread. Big up Koila. Joke World finally got his dick sucked at the comedy show. Now he can't think straight. Exactly. Yeah. Hope it's so, but I think he's just got a job. To be fair, I think he's just got he's probably got a good job. This is just residual income that comes in, but he's not grinding like he used to. Before he was grinding like this was paying his bills, But yeah, there's not many things, there's not many channels out there, so they kind of have to watch these. You'd be dumb if you're a comedian not to watch these, You'd be dumb not to watch these channels.
You make a video about me, I promise you I'm watching that video.
So make sure you leave Lewis a comment, let him know if he should double down or not. I mean, he's not wrong. New York is definitely better than Austin, but I think Rogan was probably mostly pissed about Lewis saying that the New York...
Maybe I should make a video on Louis J. Gomez talking about how terrible of a stand-up he is. Because it doesn't get spoken about enough how bad Louis J. Gomez is at stand-up. I think people like his podcast personality. The fact that he's got fucking Gas Digital, Skankfest. He does a lot of good for the community, let's be honest. Although Louis J. Gomez's comedy is terrible, he does a lot of good stuff for the stand-up community, right? He does Legion of Skanks, he puts he puts money in people's pockets and shit. He's like the Rogan of the East Coast a little bit, not really, but he's kinda, he's kinda like the Rogan of the East Coast. But let's be real, man. He sucks at comedy, man. He sucks so fucking bad. So maybe I should make a video about Louis J. Gomez and how terrible of a stand-up he is.
Comedians that moved to Austin and perform at Rogan's Club moved there because they failed in New York. So we'll see if he walks that back or if he just stops talking about this. I mean, even before Rogan went on that rant, they seemed a little stressed out about it on this podcast. Like Joe List, you could tell, was really worried about getting caught up in the drama. He was trying to separate himself from it. When Lewis brought up Shane Gillis's producer going off on New York, Lewis was trying to explain the beef, and he's like, so you remember a few months ago we were talking trash about Austin on here? And then Joe and Bobby Kelly are both like, that was all you. Then Joe starts glazing Rogan and Austin, which he's being sarcastic, but you tell he's uncomfortable and he doesn't want to be part of this, because then he keeps saying, like, it was all you, it was all you. Then Lewis starts freaking out at him.
And did you see any young comics in Austin who's Lewis?
I walked in and didn't even know about this.
I have no idea what's going on either. What is happening with what
Twitter war.
what's up?
No, we talked shit on this show. We
You.
We all did.
You.
We all did. Wow.
No, you.
I love
Wow,
Austin.
what's up? Backpedaling.
We all did.
Austin is number one in the world, which means universe. Best city. Easy.
Let's not get carried away.
Best queso.
Best barbecue.
I love Barton Springs.
So anyway, we talked shit on the show.
You talk shit.
All right, we did this.
I love Rogan.
We got it. So
Rogan rules.
we went through the list of comedians that were better in New York than that were better in Austin.
You're the one that added anyone that moved to Austin fucking couldn't hack it.
Joe,
New
who are
York.
you fucking afraid of? Lemaire, shut up. We got it. You're afraid
Lee Murray. Lee Murray. Big up Lee Murray.
of these people. Who fucking cares?
No, you little bitch.
fucking
Take
pussy.
your fucking credit for being the
No,
one that
it's on
said that.
video.
Bring it up the clip.
Hey.
And right now we're going to edit it in. Thanks
You
for watching
said
that.
everyone there could
there's the
crack
evidence.
it in New York.
Danny,
Let's just be real.
I stand by that. I stand by the fact that
Lemaire said something nice about me, okay?
What did he say?
He said, no, he's good.
That's all you got to say to Joe to get him to turn on
No,
his
he
friends.
didn't even say anything.
I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, what happened?
So Joe already seemed nervous about this, and now that he knows Rogan heard about it and isn't too happy, he's probably really worried. I mean, Rogan is on high alert with this stuff, and he's not afraid to call out comedians anymore after he snapped at Mark Maron. And also, him and Schultz put Andrew Santino in his place. He was talking shit about the Rogan sphere, then Schultz called him out and he walked everything back. So Rogan is losing his patience with this stuff and gets offended when his friends say anything bad about Austin, because it was already getting bad PR, and now Rogan spends a lot of time trying to clear up the misconceptions about the Austin comedy scene.
It's just like, we got a good thing, man. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's just a fun place to be around. Everyone just working jokes. That's what it is, really.
Yeah.
It's so funny. There is such this narrative outside of the ship about what Austin comedy is, and it's just really just a bunch of people just doing jokes.
The narrative is only with jealous people. It's not based on any reality.
God almighty, man. Like, surely you're smarter than this, Rogan. Surely you're smarter than this. So, if any criticism people have of the Austin comedy scene is based in jealousy, any criticism of the Austin comedy scene is just rooted in jealousy, in envy. None of it can be just a valid criticism, a valid dislike, observation that's just different from yours. It has to be just jealousy. Fucking hell. He's fucking awesome. Rogan is awesome.
It's not based on people who go there and hang out.
Right. Well, it's all with these people who love to talk about Austin, but they don't talk to anyone in Austin. It's like there's a bunch of comics willing to hang out and talk to you.
I think I've told you this before, but I have a friend of mine who's, somewhat of a philosopher. But he warned me about this a long time ago. He said, you've created a walled garden. And he goes, and you've got all these friends, and you're all supporting each other, and you're all having fun. But there's a lot of people that feel on the outside, and they feel like left out of it. And so they're like, fuck those people. That party sucks.
But you know what the difference is on this? This is a good analogy, right? It is a bit of a walled garden, but it's also a walled garden where Rogan is a kingmaker. He's made a lot of his friends millionaires. He's made them incredibly famous. And a lot of these people are terrible at stand-up. So imagine how it must feel if you're a stand-up comedian and you feel like you're good. You feel like you're funny. You feel like you are really funny, but you're just not getting the look. You're just not getting, sometimes in entertainment industry, it's not all just your hard work. Sometimes you need some luck. You need a cosign. You need an arm around the shoulder. You need an introduction. You need someone to put you on. Sometimes that's what, you just need something to kind of give you the little bit of a push to keep on going, or to give you the push for you to get to the next step. So I think it's perfectly reasonable for a comedian who feels as if Rogan's friends aren't that funny, who feels as if Rogan's friends are maybe not as funny as him, her, they, them, whatever, to be like, you know what, fuck those guys. Because Rogan makes incredibly unfunny people famous. Of course you'd be a little bit pissed off about it. Like, who wouldn't? Who the fuck wouldn't? And he's sitting there thinking, oh, it's like as if like all these friends are awesome. It's just this awesome crew that everyone wants to be a part of. No, some people are generally pissed off that Rogan makes very unfunny, very unlikable, very annoying people funny. And the other thing as well, I think I'm just an outside spectator, not being a comedian myself. I think the other problem is as well is that, unfortunately, not their fault, but unfortunately, because they're so popular and they're so successful and so famous, they have now sort of defined what stand-up is. Or no, they're sort of the representation. They're sort of representative of what people think stand-up is when it's not. There's more to stand-up than just Rogan's crew, but because they're so omnipresent, because their influence is so far-reaching, people now think that stand-up is Rogan's friends. And it gives people the wrong impression of what stand-up is. Because if you think Rogan's friends are unfunny, you're going to think all stand-up is unfunny, you know? So it kind of like fucks up for everyone else. So those are valid criticisms, I think. I don't think they're rooted in jealousy or envy and stuff. It's like people just saying, yeah, we just don't think you and your friends are that good, but you're really famous and rich.
You know, it's kind of along those lines. And, you know, if you could find some connections to other negative things, you know, like me and Tony, we have this connection to Trump, and so does Shane. And, you know, there's also, fucking, you got to be a right winger to be, and then the narrative comes up, oh, you got to tell jokes about fucking trans people. You have to, like, you can't be a liberal.
But doesn't he find it a little bit, like, just to explore your intellectual curiosity? Doesn't he find it a little bit odd how all his friends seem to joke about the same sort of things? Doesn't he find it a little bit odd how all these friends seem to be like, they like talk about the same shit? Fauci, COVID, ivermectin, freedom of speech, the woke meets the wall, you know, last line of defense. Doesn't he think it's a little bit bizarre how everybody that like he does comedy, or everyone that's in his inner circle, when it comes to stand-up, seems to have exactly the same views that he does? Isn't that a little bit odd? Wouldn't you want a very varied crew of people who maybe, some people in your crew who think, you know, Trump is an idiot. Some people in your crew who maybe think Gavin Newsom ain't that bad. Some people in your crew who maybe think electric cars are, I don't know, whatever the thing is. But he thinks it's perfectly, no, it's normal. Like, we've got a diverse crew. It's like, is it really diverse though? Is it really diverse?
You can't be a this.
So, of course, Rogan writes off all the criticism as people being jealous haters, but even some of his friends have criticized the scene. So, the cope is hilarious. You know, it's the same thing we heard from Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, Brennan Schaub, and we all saw how that went. But let me know what you guys think about it all down in the comments. And make sure you check out the Patreon if you want to hear about Theo Vaughn exposing Tucker Carlson for having the same handler as Rogan. And Rogan got called out for being a Luciferian by Kurt Metzger recently. And Tim Dillon made fun of Erica Kirk and upset a bunch of people. And there are over 160 other exclusive.
Yeah, big up to this to try. Make sure you check out to this try. Make it to this try. That was fucking awesome. That was really fucking good. Big up to this to try. That was really fucking good, man. Really, really, really good. Yeah, let's see how it pans out. But I like it, man. I like it. For the longest time, these comedians didn't say a word wrong in Rogan's, because I feel like the Austin comedy scene diss, critique, and insults, bear with me here, maybe I'm in the wrong, maybe I'm kind of reaching, but I feel like it's just an excuse to kind of rag on Rogan. I think a lot of these comedians don't have the guts to say anything about Rogan to his face or to mention him by name. So I think the way to kind of like criticize Rogan a bit is to like talk about the Austin comedy scene. You know, it's like a Trojan horse, you know. You can kind of insult Rogan and his comedy or lack thereof, without actually mentioning his name, you know, without actually burning that bridge. You can kind of talk about him without talking about him. So I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it. Let's read the comments quickly. Let's like the video. But I have heard the AI. But have you heard the AI cover of Many Men? So cool. Bad comedians say things to make people clap, not laugh. Ooh. Joe Rogan is the comedy what Joe Rogan is the political analysis. Shout out to Mr. Try for going through the pain of watching these podcasts. If you criticize me, you're a loser. Yeah, very healthy look on life. It's weird how people defend legitimate criticism with you're just jealous. Rogan made a safe space for shitty mediocre comedians like him. Exactly, that's the weirdest thing, isn't it? That's the wildest thing, by the way. Mr. Anti-safe space, right? Mr. Anti-safe space, Mr. Anti-woke really did make a safe space for comedians, isn't it, with the mothership? It's really, truly fucking hilarious that he just went and made a safe space for comedians. These fragile egos. Nothing says Texas pride like Rogan pulling a cruise and leaving for the Caribbean right before the storm. It's funny that Joe's baby voice sounds like Tony's normal speaking voice. Rogan's mocking baby voice is the worst. That guy legitimately said Roseanne Barr and Bert Kreischer. Joe Rogan, of all people, talking about people who just sit and bitch all day. It's hilarious. Saturday, 2/3 of every Rogan episode is him talking about how enlightened other people are. Why Tony looked like the robot devil from Futurama. The idea of Joe Rogan being a comedian is so funny. The Elephant Graveyard video is one of the greatest philosophical texts of 21st century. Comedians talking about comedy is the most boring chat ever. So yeah, everyone agrees, man. Everyone agrees. It's the craziest that these comedians think that they're funny because drunk people laugh at them. 2 drink minimums isn't just to pay for the workers. True point. Jamie, pull up the FBI director to investigate Austin comedy scene detractors is fucking crazy. But big up them. Oh, big up the stream chat too. Big up Asada Aziz, I see in the stream chat here. These are the thought leaders of our generation. They call them stand-ups because these are the men and women who brave enough to stand up. Big up Asada Aziz. That is going. Hold on. These are the thought leaders of our generation. They call them stand-ups because they are the men and women brave enough to stand up, fight against the trans kids and the vaccinated. Fucking brilliant.